right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Court. Today is Friday. Let's keep it as a Friday. Let's not try to make it as a Monday. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. 1, you're in a courtroom. What that means is do not drive in Zoom. I'm not going to be a witness to an accident. I'm not going to be the cause of an accident. Number 2, if you are at your house, you need to find a stationary place to Zoom from. Don't walk around. We're not trying to direct a movie. And when you're moving around, it makes everyone nauseous. If you're at your house, you are not allowed to vape, smoke, do laundry, do any type of house chores, cook, change diapers. You are in court. If you do not behave professionally while we are on this Zoom, you will be required to appear in person. To all the attorneys, don't bombard Ms. Ferguson, that's the court coordinator, with text messages, chat messages asking if you can leave. I'm the only person who can give you a continuance, so please do not email her asking her that. If you have a plea bargain agreement, put your plea bargain agreement in the chat to Ferguson coordinator so that she can prepare the appropriate paperwork. If your client is on bond, she will need your client's email address. No matter how small the plea or how small you think it is, if we're going on the record with your client, you need to put it in the chat box. To all the inmates, you are not allowed to use the chat box. I repeat, you are not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be sent back to your cell and we will probably see you maybe 6 months from now. You are not allowed to pick up dates. This is not The Bachelor. This is not The Bachelorette. Do not do it. If you do it, you will be sent back to your cell. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I open breakout rooms, it will invite everyone to go to a breakout room. Do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call your name and assign you to a room. Attorneys, consider the breakout rooms like doctor's offices. This is what that means. When I place you in a breakout room, it's sort of like you're at a doctor's office. You're not seeing the doctor right away. You're getting your blood pressure checked and your weight checked. As you can tell, there are more defense attorneys than there are prosecutors. The prosecutors have the ability to move throughout the breakout rooms. However, if you leave the breakout room to come back in this room to say, no prosecutor has seen me yet, you're going to lose your place, because when the prosecutors look at the breakout rooms, it will show that the breakout room is empty. They're going to skip over you and go to the next person. I'm going to call the names of the attorneys. That's the order in which you will appear. I'm not going to call the defendant's name. To all the defendants and persons that are accused, if you do not hear your attorney's name, that is probably because they're Zooming in another court. Rest assured, you will get a chance to see and speak with your attorney. Attorneys, when I call your name, let me know you are here. If you see that you're further down on the list and you want to Zoom to another court, you're more than welcome to Zoom to another court and Zoom back here. We will be taking a break at noon so the court reporter can get a break. Adam LaHood, Brian Oriel, Carlos Ramirez. Is that an attorney or a defendant?
He's a defendant, Your Honor. He's my client.
All right, just 1 second. Dan Rodriguez, Eric Reynolds, Gary Hillier, Jody Sowers, Joseph Strickland, Matthew Finch, Nathaniel Navy, Robert Maurer, Sharon Thorne, Terry Carter, Vincent Callahan, Lynn Hung, Matthew Finch, I'll call you twice, sorry. Dan Rodriguez, Kelly Pillow, Robert Guyana. Is there any defense attorney's name that I've missed or did not call?
Tim Molina.
Right. Anyone else?
I didn't hear my name, Your Honor, but I just signed in.
All right, are you an attorney?
No, ma'am.
All right,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. All right, Adam LaHood, where are you?
Right here, Your Honor.
Yes. Who's your client?
Mary Thigpen. She's in custody and I see her on the screen right now.
Is she criminal trial division or family violence?
CTD.
I'll send you to breakout room number 1. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Brian Oriel,
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here for Matthew Hernandez.
is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's the CTD judge. He's been accepted into the pretrial diversion program and is currently going through that pretrial diversion process right now.
All right, Norma, on Matthew Hernandez. Can you give them, why don't I have his file? Just one moment.
On which case, Judge?
Matthew Hernandez.
Hernandez?
It says it's closed. Is it
Judge,
closed?
he already got accepted, entered into the agreement and everything, so they might have closed it out.
All right, unless you have
That's fair.
somebody else, you're excused.
All righty, thank you, Judge. You have a good
Thank
rest
you.
of the weekend.
All right, you too. Dan
Thank you.
Rodriguez,
I have Arlie Ponafala,
spell the first name, please.
RLEE,
And the last name?
PONAFALA.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's trial division, Your Honor. We have an agreement. I just don't have the paperwork. It hasn't been sent to me yet.
All right, if you can put in the chat box to Norma Ferguson what the paperwork, what the agreement is.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll send you to breakout room number 2. Is your client in custody?
He is. He's on the screen as well, in custody.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2 with
Thank
your
you.
client. And if you'll put that in the chat box before you go to the breakout room.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Eric Reynolds, I'll get back with you. I think you're here with Mr. Strickland. If you guys will go to breakout room number 3 and confer over the potential consideration of shock probation.
That's good, Judge.
So I'll send you to 3. And Strickland, if you'll go to breakout room number 3, please. I don't see him on here anymore. Let me see. All right, Gary Hillier.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here for Sarah Stokes and she's CTD.
I'll send you to breakout room number 4 and a prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Matthew Hernandez.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is your attorney Brian Oriel?
I talked to him yesterday, and he said he would be
My
on.
question is your attorney Brian Oriel?
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
All right, you're excused.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Jody Sars.
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, we have Nicholas Valdez. He is both CTD and Family Violence Division. I need to speak with Family Violence Division for sure, and also CTD, I guess. But Terry Carter is here with me because we have multiple courts going on. So if you could put us in a breakout room together, Terry Carter, me, and then the 2 prosecutors, one from each side.
All right, just one moment.
Thank
Terry
you.
Carter, where are you?
I'm present, Judge.
All right. Do you have anyone else on the docket other than Nicholas Valdez?
From your court, Your Honor, no, ma'am.
I mean, Terry Carter.
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll send you both to breakout room number 5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Joseph Strickland, I'm sending you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
Matthew Finch,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. Who do you have?
Corlisa Johnson, Your Honor. The bailiff confirmed that she is actually in the courtroom this morning. I've been conferring with David Martin. He's working on the paperwork now. I will send Norma a chat. But we're
All
waiting
right.
for paperwork.
Just give me one moment. And who is the person who's doing your paperwork?
Mr. Martin is, Your Honor. David.
Okay.
I'm working on it right now.
All right, Matthew Finch, what I'll do is I'll send you to breakout room number 6 with your client. Courtroom, if you could go to breakout room number 6, please.
Yes, Judge.
Nathaniel Navy,
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Wardell Lemon, family violence case.
I'll send you to breakout room number 7. Robert Maurer,
Judge, I have 2 family violence cases, Antonio Casablanca and Geronimo Hernandez. And I'm going to ask the court if you can recall me for next Friday. I need to confer particularly on Geronimo Hernandez, but I have an appointment this morning to get my COVID vaccine and I don't want to miss it.
all right, just give me one moment. And you said Geronimo Hernandez?
Geronimo Hernandez, we were awaiting a Brady, which I did receive, which I'm sure will affect how the case resolves.
Norma, on Geronimo Hernandez,
Yes, ma'am.
can you recall this for next week?
Yes, ma'am. On the 16th?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and then also Antonio Casablanca.
The 16th as well?
Okay,
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
all right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Norma, what page is, oh, I found it. All right, Mr. Casablanca and Mr. Hernandez, you're to come back on the 16th. And everyone, just give me one moment. And Mr. Maurer, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Sharon Thorne.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have, it's a recall. You wanted, on Ricky Darnell Ford, you wanted to do a Mick Myoff, and I think they were going to do an evaluation yesterday, the day before. And so you wanted it recalled for today.
All right, Norma, can you check to see if Mr. Ford has had that done or has met with anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just give us a moment on that.
And it's for Mick Myoff, correct, Judge?
Yes. Vincent Callahan?
Here, Your Honor.
Yes, who do you have?
Kadreen Pugh.
Funny, when I opened the creme brulee drawer.
And what is happening With that,
Is still sitting in the Court of Criminal Appeals on the PDR, the state's PDR.
all right, so on that case, are you going to be requesting a jury trial,
Yes, Your Honor, if he loses,
or would you like a bench trial?
he wants a jury trial, Your Honor.
All right, have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you need to speak with Mr. Pugh before you're released?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, on Kajing Pugh, if you'll set those for jury trial, please.
Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Judge, can you repeat that? I was on the phone.
Oh, no problem. On Kadreen Pugh,
Yes, ma'am.
set those for jury trial. And I'm sorry, Vince Callahan, yes?
Can you put me in a breakout room for 1 minute with Mr. Lunan?
Yes.
Thank you. Good to see your face.
I'll send you to breakout room number 6.
Okay.
Lynn Hahn. Oh, and David, you should be able to go to 6 on your own, but if not, let me do this.
Good morning, Judge.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It is not 6. You are actually should be going to 8. 6 is already taken. Oh, they've left. Okay, that's fine. Lynn Hahn, I'm sorry. Yes.
Good morning, Judge. I'm here for Mr. John Bueno. He, I believe, is in the courtroom, but he's also available. Oh, he's in his car. Sorry. He's available via Zoom.
You said John Bueno?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you spell the last name?
Bueno.
Okay, I had spelled it right.
I believe this is a discovery compliance. We have Mr. Hunter Morris, who's on the.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Hunter Morris, let me see, where are you? Hunter Morris?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, thank you. I'm sending you to breakout room number 8.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Dan Rodriguez. Dan Rodriguez. Kelly Piddle.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Who do you have?
I have Brianna Mitchell. It's a violation report. And CTV.
Okay, I'll send you to breakout room number 9.
Okay.
Robert Guyona.
Yes, Judge.
Who do you have?
Daryl Serta, CTD.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 10.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Tim Molina. Tim Molina. Going once. Going twice.
I'm here, Judge. I'm sorry, I couldn't get my mouse.
It's
to
okay.
work.
Who do you have?
I'm here on Jose Garcia. It's a MTR. I believe he's in the courtroom.
All right, is it CTD?
Yes.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 11.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Marco Bass.
I'm here, Judge.
Yes, who's your client?
Margarita Dominguez.
Is it family violence or criminal trial division?
Criminal trial. It's a
I'll send
restitution.
you to breakout room number 12. John Foley. John
Morning, Your Honor.
Foley. Morning. Who do you have?
I've got Jessica Briones, Judge.
Is it
And she's
criminal?
here.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Uh, Mostly criminal trial. Family violence was involved early on, but I don't know if they even still are. But I've been dealing with criminal trial.
All right. I'll send you to lucky breakout room number 13.
Thank you.
Charles Bonk. Charles Bonk.
Yes,
Yes. Who do you have?
I have RC Curtis, I think.
Ah, yes.
I don't know if any of my other compadres are here, but I'm here.
Yes, you're here, and we're just waiting for the other. Who are the prosecutors on the other side?
Mr. Harris and Mr. Spear,
All right, let's see.
and then Mr. Langlois is my trustee leader.
All right, Mr. Curtis is here. Did you want to speak with him while we wait for the other prosecutors to appear?
Sure.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 14.
Okay.
Judge, they were set for 10 o'clock, just to let Bunk know.
Oh,
They're set for 10. Do you still want to speak to your client?
no, I'll come back at 10.
All right.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
All right. Emmanuel Albardo. I know I'm mispronouncing the name.
Alvarado.
Alvarado.
Rhymes with avocado.
Okay. Who do you have?
Carlos Ramirez.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Your Honor, I think it's family violence, but I'm not too sure.
All right. Yes, it is family violence. All right, then you will have lucky breakout room number 13. I'm
Okay.
sorry, number 14.
Okay.
All right, is there anyone else, any other prosecutor who has not, or defense attorney who has not been sent to the breakout room yet? All right. Yes, I'm sorry, James Toshi.
So I don't know if Mr. Martin is here and would like to talk, but he would be the person that I would need to talk to, Judge David Martin.
All right, who is your client?
Stephen Garcia, I'm sorry.
All right, I'll see you to breakout room number 15.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, is there anyone else, any other defense attorney who hasn't been to a breakout room yet?
Judge, I need to.
Richard Langlois, your case is set for 10 o'clock.
Oh, well, I thought I was late.
All right, thank you.
Could you put me in to the jail?
Yes, I'll send you to breakout room.
That will save me some time. We can probably work it out.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 16.
All right, thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Curtis, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 16.
No, I need David Aguirre.
I was gonna say, he has another client, David Aguirre.
Mr. Curtis, don't go to number 16. And do you need to speak with David Aguirre, Mr.
Yes,
Langlois?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a David Aguirre here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I need help with the paperwork.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 16 with your attorney. Mr. Curtis, do not go to a breakout room. Stay where you are. Don't touch anything.
Okay, they're coming just a second.
All right, Mr. Aguirre, I'm sending you to 16.
Yes, ma'am.
And Richard Langlois, if you'll go to 16, please. All right, everyone, just give me 2 seconds. All right, anyone back from the breakout room?
Move.
All right, Ronnie Charles. Ronnie Charles. Is there an attorney here for Ronnie Charles? Just one moment. Norma, is there a Ronnie Charles on the docket?
I don't think so, Judge. That doesn't ring a bell. Give me 1 second.
All right, who's this person laying in bed? And it's a bed that's not even made up. I mean, does anyone know who this person is?
That's Ronnie Charles.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Serta. Of course, people can't read. Who is the attorney for Mr. Serta? Marcus, here's a Stripes reference for you. It appears we have a comedian in our midst.
I don't see any variation of Ron Charles in our court, so I don't know if he's a witness or what his deal is.
Okay.
Mr. Serta's attorney is Mr. Guyona.
Okay. All right, anyone back from the breakout room?
Yes, Judge. This is Ling Han for Mr. Bueno.
Yes.
I think that we were coming back here for discovery compliance, or that's what it was titled. We're hoping to get the records or access to the phone. Mr. Morris did let me know that that they've been having difficulties with getting into the phone. And I did not realize that that was what was holding us up. My client is willing to provide, assistance in giving them access to the phone.
Just give me 1 second. To the clerks, I don't have the file on John Henry Bueno. Everyone, just give me a moment. I'm going to go get a file that I don't have. Receive a case for virtual development.
You're in the database as the assigned investigator.
Right, Arbius?
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Han, we're looking for that file. As soon as I have it, I'll take your matter up. Anyone else back from the breakout room?
Yes, Your Honor. Eric Reynolds and I are ready on Dorian DeGage whenever you are, Judge.
Okay. So on Dorian DeGage. No, don't touch those. No. All right, so Mr. Strickland
Yes, Your Honor.
and Eric Reynolds. Let me see you all in breakout room number 3, please. And everyone, just give me 1 moment. So Joseph Strickland and Eric Reynolds, please go back to breakout room number 3. Mr. Strickland, are you able to find it?
I was
you-
waiting. I was waiting
No.
for a thing to pop up.
No, it doesn't pop up the second time around. If you look at the bottom
Okay.
where it says the 4 squares that say breakout rooms,
Mhm.
if you'll just click on that.
4 squares that say breakout rooms. Ah, got it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Strickland, are you able to? Anyone else back from the breakout room?
I am Judge with Tom. It's Kelly Biddle.
Your Honor,
All right, time out. Who
My
keeps
name-
letting Mr. Ronnie Charles back in this Zoom? I don't know how many times I have to tell people you're not allowed to lay in your bed. Heck, I would love to Zoom from my bedroom with, a food tray, eating breakfast, but I'm not doing that. So who is associated with this person who's laying in a bed? It appears to be a queen size. Queen size. It may be a king, I'm unsure, but I know it's unmade. So whose client is this? All right, who's back?
Judge Robert Gaona.
Okay, Robert Guyona, you shouted loudest. Who's your client? What's going on?
Can I get in the breakout with Mr. Serta? He's an inmate.
All right, Robert Guyona, if you'll go back to breakout room number 10, Mr. Serta, if you'll go to number 10.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, in just one moment, Kelly, I'll take you up next. Lynn Hahn. Lynn Hahn.
Yes, Judge.
Hi. Okay, so I have the file on Mr. Bueno. So what is happening with the phone dump?
So I did not realize until today when Mr. Morris let me know that they're having issues with getting into the phone. My client has said that he's willing to give them the passcode or whatever is necessary to get into the phone. I just want to make sure that there's not anything in there that might assist us in this case.
All right, Norma, can you give them another reset for discovery, please?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Hey, Judge, just to give you an update,
Yes.
Ms. Hahn requested the contents of the phone, and just in case there was any kind of mitigating evidence in those contents. The Secret Service has the phone. They've not been able to access the phone, and that's what I told Ms. Hahn. So hopefully, once she provides that passcode, I can get her the requested information.
Okay.
And I let her know that Mr. Brown would most likely be taking this case over.
Okay. How much time will it take for any movement to happen with regards to Ms. Hahn giving the passcodes, and from receiving the passcodes, how long will it take for the dump?
Once I get the passcode, Judge, I'll pass it along same day. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I could give this court an estimate once I do know.
Okay. Norma, recall Mr. Boyne. Yes.
On Lynn's case, we can come back on the 30th for discovery.
All right, that's April 30th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we will see you on April 30th.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused and my client?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, you have a great morning.
All right, thank you. You too. All right, Kelly and Ms. Hahn, you're excused as well as your client. Kelly Pittle.
Yes, Judge. I've conferred with Tom. Is it possible for you, Tom and I to go into a breakout room together, please?
All right, just give me a moment on that. Anyone else back from the breakout room? John McCraw, you back?
I'm here.
Yes. Are you back on, were you conferring with anyone?
No, Your Honor, we're here today for Jonathan Yost to tell us who his new attorney is.
Jonathan who?
Yes, ma'am.
Yost.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
All right, Jonathan Yost, who is your attorney?
You're supposed to hire one, Judge.
Yes. Who's the attorney you've hired?
Will Williams is going through the discovery before he's officially retained, but it's going to be Will Williams.
No, either he's hired or he's not, because he's not being allowed to go through the state's discovery unless he's hired. So the question is, what discovery is he going through?
I have no idea. I spoke with Will Williams and Roland Ramos, excuse me. They both said that they need to review the case before officially taking it on because of the capacity of the case.
Norma, have Mr. Will Williams or either Roland Ramos zoom in here, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and then Tom and Kelly Pittle.
Yes, Judge.
Kelly Pittle, if you'll go back to breakout room number 9, and Tom, if you'll go to 9, and everyone just give me a moment, please.
Brianna, you can log out. I'm gonna leave
Anyone
it.
back from the breakout room?
Hey, Judge, this is Robert Gilner. I am back from the breakout room. I've got to speak to the ADA one more time, please.
All right. And Mr. Guyana, if you'll go back to breakout room number 10, and if could someone from criminal trial division meet Mr. Guyana in breakout room number 10? Martin Guerra,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. Who do you have?
I have Adrian Arias.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
CTD.
I'll send you to breakout room number 1. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you.
Mr. Guyana, are you going to 10?
Your Honor?
Mr. Pugh, just give us a moment, please.
Your Honor, this is Sharon Thorne. I'm just wondering what the status is of on the McMyoff eval.
All right, just give us a moment. Norma, do you have a status update on the McMouth eval on Ricky Ford?
Judge, I emailed Kevin. He's on the screen, asking him if he has an update on it.
Kevin,
Yes, Judge.
do you have an update on the McMouth evaluation on Mr. Ford?
Yes, I already sent a message stating that he did the initial interview, but
Okay.
and they agreed for McMyoff, but they still need to do the Tacoma, which was set for next week. Once they do that, then the process can continue if he's being accepted.
All right, so
We have
is
done
he
the first
accepted
half.
now or no?
Technically, you can't say yes because he has to do the Tacoma, but it's looking like he will.
Okay, so when will the Tacoma be completed?
That'll probably be done by next week, Judge.
All right, Mr. Ford, can you unmute?
Ma'am.
All right, we're gonna bring you back next week. They say there's one more requirement or evaluation they have to do. Kevin, will that be done by Friday, before Friday of next
It
week?
should, Judge. We were trying to get it in by today, but because he's here in court, I know that won't happen. So it should happen by next Friday.
All right, Norma, can you recall Mr. Ford then next Friday?
Judge, I think Kevin said it might be done by next Friday, but if we bring him to court, it's not going to be done. So I can probably push him for the 30th just to make sure.
Okay, Mr. Ford? Okay, I don't know why he's giving me attitude. Is there a problem with your client? Norma, have him removed. I don't need this.
Yes, ma'am. I sure will.
Thank you. 16D. All right, we'll be back on April 30th, Ms. Thorne.
Okay, was that my client that was causing problems?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. All right.
No problem.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, may I be excused?
Yes, and Sharon, if it's completed before April 30th, then of course you won't have the April 30th setting date.
Okay.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Adam LaHood, are you back? You ready?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I was conferring with ADA Marcus Sanders about Ms. Thigpen's case. They still have, looks like 8 cases which are now unsealed, but they're presenting them for indictment. And also they're working on getting me discovery on it. They previously got me discovery, and unfortunately I had a hard drive failure. So after recovery, we got about a third of it back. So they're just going to re-upload the entire batch to me to make sure everything's in place. And that's where we stand. But I think once they have all the cases indicted, they plan they'll be able to present an offer, and it'll help us make a decision whether or not we're going to have a trial, a plea, or what else.
What are the other charges?
Everything's for aggravated robbery.
All right, and how many other cases are there?
I believe there was 8 additional.
All right, Norma, on Thigpen, can you give it a 30-day reset, please?
Yes, ma'am. We can come back on the 14th of May.
14th of May?
All right, Ms. Thigpen, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to bring your case back on May 14th to make sure that your attorney has all the discovery he's entitled to, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about anything or the process?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. LaHood, do you need to speak with your client?
No, ma'am. I'm going to visit her in the jail this weekend.
All right, Norma, can you let them know that Ms. Thigpen is excused? She's L22.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, ma'am. You too.
There, Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, you too. All right, anyone else back? Mr. Guyana?
Judge, we're back on Briones.
Okay, and just 1 second, I'm sorry. All right, what is happening with Briones?
Judge, we, as you know, we had an independent pathologist examine or basically redo the autopsy, and the state is looking at potentially reducing the charges in this case from a capital murder. And I believe ordinarily I would never give a copy of our expert's report to I wouldn't have our expert make a report. But in this case, I think that could help facilitate, a reduction in the charges. And so I'm having our expert prepare a report, but he has not finished that yet.
All right, when will this be completed?
Judge, I'm thinking I can push him to get it done in the next couple of weeks.
All right, just 1 moment. Let me see if I have the file. Okay, Norma, on Briones, can we recall this for the end of the month?
The 30th? Yes, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Foley will be back on April 30th. Does that give you enough time?
I believe so, Judge. I can't. I don't want to promise it and then not have it, but I think that'll be enough time.
All right, we'll see you and your client on April 30th. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, everyone, just give me 1 moment, please. All right, everyone, just let me check my email to see if I have any paperwork that's come through to sign.
Mr. Guyana, all the paperwork from my end should be in your email.
All right, Judge, we have a plea deal, so I'm gonna take care of that.
All right.
And I already told him what it was going to be. So.
And your client should be in the same breakout room you were previously in.
Okay.
And was your client in the courtroom?
No, he's the inmate.
All right, just 1 moment. All right, Mr. Serta, I need you to go back to breakout room number 10. If you look at the bottom of your screen, it should be boxes that say breakout rooms. If you'll click on that and go to breakout room number 10. All right, anyone else back from a breakout room?
Judge.
All right, Mr. Langlois, what is happening with Mr. Geary?
I need to talk to Mr. Nesbitt on the police. I think we're pretty close to getting it accomplished.
All right, if you'll go to number 14, and Tom, if you could go to 14, please. All right, anyone else? Emmanuel Alvarado.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Hey, Your Honor, the last time we were on, I had told you that my father had passed away. He was a boxer, and there was an article in the Express News.
Yes.
Did you ever get an opportunity to see it or no?
Yes, I did. It was so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So,
Tell everybody your father's name.
Oscar Shotgun Alvarado.
There we go. If you look him up, he was a great boxer.
Yeah. And actually, they just wrote another good article on some type of boxing website. It just got published yesterday or today. So there's a lot of people that are continually writing articles since he's passed.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, I know. So I tell people, I go, as much as I would like to consider myself a good attorney, I'll never be the top attorney in the entire world. And so I was like, very few people get to be in their profession for even for a minute. They're at the top of the game. And so,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so back to my client. Unfortunately, we have not come to an agreement, and it does not look like we're going to come to an agreement. So we're just going to have to be set for trial.
All right, Carlos Ramirez, where are you?
I'm present right here, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, your plea deadline has expired. So what that means is that the court will not accept any plea bargaining agreements. Mr. Alvarado, do you want a jury trial or a bench trial? If you want a bench trial, the court is more than willing to hear it.
I understand that, Your Honor, but we are wanting a jury trial.
All right. State, on this case, if I could have the acknowledgement of discovery by April 30th, please. And we will set you for a jury trial.
Thank you.
All right, if there's nothing else, you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome. Orlando Castagnon.
Yes, Judge. Good morning. I'm here on Roland Davis.
Is it family violence or criminal trial division?
Criminal Trial Division.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 7. And a prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Judge.
Carl Alexander.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. Who do you have?
Jason Hammond.
You said Hammond.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's CTP, Judge. It's a plea this morning. And actually, as I was logging in, Jordan just sent over the discovery index, but I'm waiting on all the other paperwork as well.
All right, Jason Hammond, where are you? Jason Hammond.
I see him on screen, Judge. I think he's 14.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney to go over the paperwork. I'll send you all to breakout room number 8.
And Judge, will screen share work in the breakout room?
It should.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. All right, anyone else ready?
Judge, this is Matthew Finch. I've completed all the paperwork on my end for Corlisa Johnson. She's in the courtroom. I was assigned to breakout room 6. I just wanted to make sure that I was ready to go over it with my client.
All right, if you will go back to breakout room number 6 and courtroom, if you could go to 6, please.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. And everyone, just give me one moment. Suzanne Kramer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
How are
Who
you?
do you have? Hello, who do you have?
I've got Ronnie Caldwell.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It is, well, it's David Lunan. So I think that's not, I think that's like a separate, I don't think he's family violence. I think it's like,
Trafficking.
yeah, I'll say that.
All right.
But
Norma,
Freddie-
can you see if you can have David Lunan zoom back in, please?
And Judge, he actually has 2 cases. The one that David, and I did text David before I jumped in, letting him know I was jumping back in. David's on that one case, but I just got a text from Freddie because Mr. Caldwell has an unindicted new case that I think is with Freddie Ramirez.
All right, and also prosecutors, if you could have Freddie Ramirez come into the Zoom as well, please. Suzanne, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9.
Thank you so much, Judge.
And David Lunan, Suzanne is telling me she also needs Freddie Ramirez.
I will send him an email right now.
All right, thank you. James Toshi, you're back.
Yes, ma'am. I did confer with David, Judge, and I'm not sure if we're set for trial, but if we are, you can keep us in that mode, or if not, you can just schedule us for a trial.
All right, and your client is Stephen Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Stephen Garcia,
Yes, ma'am.
you're requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we were here today because today was your plea deadline date. The defense told me that they had received all the discovery. So to the state on this one, if you can have the acknowledgement of discovery, let me see. If you can have the acknowledgement of discovery done by May 7th, please.
I can get that sent out today, probably.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Tochi, did you all want a jury trial or would you like a bench trial? If you want a bench trial, we can do that soon. If not, you know, the jury trial will happen when the jury trial happens.
So I'm going to say jury for now, Judge, because I've not contemplated a bench trial, but I'd like to discuss that with my client. And if I do change my announcement, would it be okay to communicate that to the court?
Yes, just let the court coordinator know. And if you could let the state know if you decide on a bench trial to see if they'll agree to one.
Yes, ma'am, will do.
All right, you and your client are excused. Have a good weekend.
You as well, Judge.
Thank you.
Jim, go back to your breakout room real quick.
All right.
I'll meet you there.
Yes, sir.
I just thought of something.
All right, Nathaniel Navy, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm back. I conferred with the state and with my client, Judge. If you could give us a 30-day reset, that's what I would request, Judge, just to see if it's possible to reach an agreement in this case. This is not our plea deadline today, so I just request some more time.
All right, so it shows that all discovery has been received. Norma, can you recall Mr. Wardell Lemon in 30 days, please?
Yes, Judge, it would be on May 14th.
All right. Mr. Lemon, your plea deadline date is going to be May. Could you unmute for me, Mr. Lemon? Mr. Lemon, your plea deadline date is going to be May 14th. What that means is after that point in time, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements. We will see you back here on May 14th. And
Okay.
Defense and all defense attorneys, if you decide you want a jury trial or a bench trial, please discuss bench versus jury trials with your client. And if you decide to, that you would like a bench trial, please contact the state and see if they will be in agreement to that. And to the state on this case, I'll need an acknowledgement of discovery by May 7th. If there's nothing else, Mr. Navy, you and your client, Mr. Lemon, are excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a nice weekend.
All right, thank you, you too. All right, anyone else back from the breakout room?
Judge, I conferred with Tom. We're doing a plea on Mr. Aguirre.
All right. Tom, if you can put in the chat box to Norma what the plea bargain agreement is. All right, anyone else back from the breakout room? All right, Mr. Langlois and to Dara Harris and Mr. Spears, we're just waiting for Charles Bont to sign back in.
Roger that, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Excuse me, Judge, has my attorney left?
Mr. Pugh, no, your attorney has left and you've been excused. Your attorney says that he will come speak with you over a different platform, but you are scheduled for a jury trial.
Okay, so I'm excused.
No, just remain right there. One of the deputies will come to get you, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Norma, be sure to let them know that they can remove 16F, Mr. Pugh. All right, Mr. Williams.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's a person here who says that he is hiring you. I believe it's Jonathan Yost. This is the third setting.
We haven't been hired. I've had one conversation with Mr. Yost. It was this morning. I told him I didn't think our firm would take this case. I have not been hired on this case.
All right, thank you. Norma, can you appoint Mr. Yost an attorney?
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Norma.
Mr. Yost, you're going to have a court-appointed attorney before you leave here. This case is not going to continue on over and over and over again with maybe you're hiring an attorney, maybe you're not hiring an attorney. This is an old case. So something's going to start happening on that case.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, anyone else ready?
Judge, I'm back from the breakout room with David, if you want to hear me.
Yes.
I don't really think on the new case, I need to talk with Freddie yet. There is evidence that I can only see by going down to the courthouse by the nature of this evidence. So I told David that as after Wednesday of next week, I'm 2 weeks from my second shot. So I'll be safe or safer to go out, and I'll go down to the courthouse anytime after that. So I still need to look at that, and that's on Freddie's case. And David still needs to give me, but he said that he'll bring him by my office some DVDs on his case. So we're still kind of in the discovery stage, which was delayed a bit because of COVID, unfortunately.
All right, Norman, can you give them a 30-day reset?
That's great, Judge. Thank you.
And it's on Ronnie Caldwell.
It is on Ronnie Caldwell, yes. And
May-
Freddie's case isn't even indicted yet, so.
All right, Norma, what date?
May 13th.
13?
Yes.
That's great. I'll put it on my calendar now. Thank you so much.
All right, just one second. Let me see something. All right, you were a day away from that being Friday the 13th. So it's Thursday the 13th, so I think it'll be okay.
Okay, thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome. Anyone else back from the breakout room? David Woodard, who do you have?
Yeah, Judge, can I give you an announcement on Shelley Vaughn? I've been speaking with Alexandria Williamson, and she stated the case has been dismissed this morning.
Yes, and I signed that.
Okay, thanks, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you and your client are excused.
Okay, have a good weekend and be safe.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
She's not on
Good.
here. Is she gone?
She should be. I don't know what her screen name is, but she keeps emailing and texting me, telling me that she's on.
Oh, okay. Because I know she wanted a different attorney. I was just asking.
Oh, well, before I sign the dismissal, Ms. Vaughn, would you like a different attorney?
No, ma'am.
Could you show your face, please?
I thought I was on. I'm having a little trouble with the phone. I apologize.
No problem.
Start video. There it is. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Oh, Ms. Vaughn, my understanding, you wanted another attorney? Do you want another attorney?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm assuming you feel as though Mr. Woodard has done a great job in your case because your case is being dismissed.
Yes, ma'am. He's done an excellent job.
All right, Mr. Woodard, Ms. Vaughn says you've done an excellent job. She doesn't want you removed from her case. Happy Friday. Have a good one.
Thank you, Judge.
You're
All
welcome.
right, take care, Shelley. Be safe.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right, Judge, can you please assign Sarah Stokes to breakout room 4?
Say number 4.
Correct.
All right, Ms. Stokes, if you go to breakout room number 4.
Thank you.
And Norma, can you let me know if there's an attorney available for Jonathan Yotes?
Yes, it was the system assigned Cornelius Cox, Judge.
All right, can you see if Mr. Cox can zoom in?
I sure can.
Thank you. All right, anyone else ready? All right, Stephen and Daryl, we're just waiting for Charles Bunk to zoom back in.
Problem, Judge. And Your Honor, if I may, my apologies to the court for my not being inconsistent at the last setting. Didn't anticipate it. I didn't handle my schedule very well.
Oh, no apologies needed. Thank you.
Judge, I sent you a chat.
All right, thank you.
Judge, can you put Dan Rodriguez, his client, and the clerks in a breakout room to see if they can swear him in and if the paperwork is ready, please?
Yes. Clerks, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
And Norm, if you let me know who else needs to be sworn in so I can move them to 2 as well. Matthew Finch to the courtroom. Matthew Finch, have you finished all the paperwork with your client?
Judge, I just finished going over it and just returned to inform the court that I have. So if we're ready to go, if the court has it.
All right, I'm going to send her to courtroom. If you could go to breakout room number 2, and Mr. Finch, if you can go to 2, the clerks will let you know if they have all the paperwork.
Thank you.
Is
Your
there
Honor.
anyone else who's doing a plea? All right, just give me a moment, everyone.
Charles, you get any autographs today? Yeah.
Yep. All right, Daryl Harris, Charles Bonk, Richard Langlois was here.
I'm here, Judge.
All right, awesome.
Me and my dog are here.
Yes, so I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 1.
Okay.
We're number 1.
Yes, let me find you just 1 second.
Come on, Lowry, get your game
All right, if you have Charles Bonk, Daryl Harris, Richard Langlois, Stephen Spears, if you go to breakout room number 1, please. What are you looking for? It should be here. It's all in alphabetical order. There you go. No, no problem. All right, Martin Guerra.
Judge, can you put me in a breakout room with Adrian Arias, my client?
All right, is your client in custody or on bond?
He's on bond.
All right, what breakout room were you in? Let me see if I can find you. Just give me a second. You were in number 1. I'll move you to breakout room number 3. And
Thank you, Judge.
Adrian Aris, if you go to 3, please. And Norma, we're going to need Tim Molina's in breakout room number 11. Has anybody from criminal trial division spoken to him about his client, Mr. Garcia, Jose Luis Garcia?
I can, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Judge, this is Marcus. Can you make me a close?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was on my phone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, and let me give you this. Thank you. All right, anyone else ready? All right, thank you. All right, we're going to take up a plea. If you're not a part of this, I'm going to ask that you please mute. Who is the prosecutor who's handling Corlissa Johnson?
That's me, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Oh, dang.
All right, Cornelius Cox.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, you've been appointed to represent someone. Because we're doing a hearing right now, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with the court coordinator, and she
Yes,
will give
ma'am.
you information on your client, and then your client will be placed in that room.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you, Judge.
And Norma, I'm trying to find you. I'm sending you to 5. And if you all, Norma, when you're ready for his client to go to the breakout room, if you'll just send that to me in the chat, and I'll send them. All right. Court is calling 2020 CR 11653, State of Texas versus Corlissa Denora Johnson. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Martin?
For the defense?
Matthew Finch on behalf of Corlissa Johnson, Your Honor.
And are you Miss Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
Miss Johnson, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you a document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court, sorry, just one moment. Chat box, okay. Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review that discovery with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Johnson, I'm showing you a document entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are proceeding on count 2, but not on count 1. We'll waive and abandon count 1.
All
No
right, any
objection.
objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then. Ms. Johnson, did you understand that in count 2, it appears that you're charged with, is she charged with count 2 of arson of a vehicle?
I believe it's criminal mischief.
It's criminal mischief, Your Honor.
All right. Then they're charging you in count 2 with criminal mischief, $1,500 to $20,000. Did you understand that's a state jail felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Johnson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Off the record for a moment, Mr. Yost, I'm sending you to breakout room number 5. We're back on the record. Ms. Johnson, I'm showing you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 2, waiving and abandoning count 1. They're recommending deferred adjudication. There is to be restitution to Anthony Fleming, a TAP evaluation, Mick Myoff evaluation, no contact with Anthony Fleming, full compliance with CPS case. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, if I may, there's Mr. Martin and I have agreed that we'd like to make an oral modification for the no contact order to be no harmful or injurious contact. My client and the complainant have children together, and we just wanted to make that correction. Instead of redoing the paperwork, we would ask that it orally be amended.
All right, so here's my question. Is Mr. Anthony Fleming here to say that he wants to have contact with Ms. Johnson?
He's not, Judge, but he has had contact with us, our office, and they co-parent their children, and they believe CPS is still working with them, and he's okay with contact.
All right. Then, Ms. Johnson, I'm being asked to orally amend the contract or the plea bargain agreement that you've reached with the state. And it is to include no harmful or injurious contact with Anthony Fleming. Are you requesting that the court amend your plea bargain agreement with the state to include no harmful or injurious contact with Anthony Fleming as opposed to no contact with Anthony Fleming?
Yes, ma'am.
Then did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. Did you understand that that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 2 in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, do you have any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
For states one with the attachments.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Johnson, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd ask that you waive a PSI.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, my client obviously is here today accepting responsibility for the decisions that she made that day. We've been working with Mr. Martin and the complainant, and he's my understanding he's on board with this, that my client does have children with him. Your Honor, my client is anxious and willing to get back in and get some mental health treatment if it's warranted by the McMyoff evaluation. But she wants to put this behind her, and I anticipate she'll be successful on this probation, and we would ask that you follow the plea bargain as it's stated. In addition, Your Honor, my client has been on, as a condition of bond, has been on a GPS monitor. We'd also ask that you waive that requirement, allow her to take that off since she's now going to be placed on probation. Your Honor, and I was conferring with Mr. Martin. There's one other issue. There's a phone that's in evidence that I'm going to file a motion and ask that it be returned to her now that the case is resolved and my client has accepted responsibility. But other than that, Your Honor, my client is here today in good faith, and we'd ask that you follow the plea bargain.
All right. Ms. Johnson, you want to have contact with the complainant in this case, Mr. Fleming?
To be honest, well, yeah, because for the fact just to be able to have him bring the kids when he can, instead of having other people bring them back and forth.
All right, so let me just tell you what my concern is. You all are no longer in a couple's relationship. Is that correct? The relationship is over as far as you and Mr. Fleming as a couple.
Yes, ma'am.
what I've discovered in my time as a defense attorney and a prosecutor is that when people bring children over to someone's house for visitation, they usually, I don't know why they do this, and I think Mr. Finch knows where I'm going. They usually do not come along. Usually they bring the new girlfriend with them. So I'm trying to figure out, do you really believe and know that this relationship is over, or are we going to have a problem where you get angry and upset if he's with someone else?
No, ma'am.
So what caused the burning of the vehicle? What made you decide to burn the inside of the vehicle? And I ask you this not to embarrass you, but I'm trying to figure out what was the trigger so we can make sure that doesn't happen again.
I think it was just a lot of emotions. I just had a baby at the time, so I think it was part of more just being mad that I wasn't able to see my daughter, and it was just an argument, and I think I just was going through something mentally at the time.
All right. And so state and defense, you all are asking for a mouth evaluation. Mr. Finch, I'm assuming Child Protective Services is involved.
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor, we are asking for the evaluation. Child Protective Services was previously involved. It's my understanding right now that they've closed out the case. However, my client understands that if there are lingering issues with CPS, that she needs to cooperate with them and allow access and to ensure that everything is going the way it's supposed to.
Has she completed parenting classes?
Your Honor, I don't know the answer to that question. Ms. Johnson, have you done a parenting class?
No, I've done parenting classes in the past, but I wasn't required to do a parenting class.
All right, I'm going to ask for a parenting class. This is what, and Ms. Johnson, if you're tested today, what are the results going to be?
With the drug test?
Yes.
They should be clean.
All right, when's the last time you used and what did you use?
I drink.
All right, and that's it?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, while you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink any alcohol, even if it's at your home?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just going to do AA meetings 2 times per week. And you can do those anywhere in the city. So this is the, are you employed?
No, ma'am.
So how are you supporting yourself?
I'm actually staying with a friend right now, but I actually do have a interview on Monday for it's called Wings and Waffles on New Braunfels.
Okay. And are their wings and waffles good?
Yes.
Okay. All right, this is the court's entire ruling. CPS compliance, mouth evaluation, no harmful or injurious contact with Anthony Fleming, parenting class, 3 years deferred adjudication, AA meetings 2 times per week, employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or a babysitter. So there's to be no employment with vulnerable persons. Are you able to Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so there'll be regular reporting by Zoom. If you're not able to Zoom, then that has to be in person. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month. And it's to be random. And there'll be random UAs. Ms. Johnson, the way I do random UAs, because sometimes maybe random UAs may interfere with someone's work schedule. You have the choice of that or receiving the patch, but the patch costs more.
Okay.
Probation, is there anything else that she needs?
No, Judge. Do we assess a fine?
No, there's no fine.
Oh, fine. Okay. That's it, Judge.
All right. Ms. Johnson, is there anything you need in order to be successful in this probation?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Be patient. Probation is going to meet you there shortly. It's just that they need to hear another case before they meet you there.
Okay.
Mr. Finch, you're
Your Honor, we asked that you consider removing the GPS monitor now that she's on probation.
all right. Any objections, State?
No objection.
All right. And the court will order GPS removed.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's everything.
All right. And Mr. Finch, if you want to go in a breakout room with her, you can, or else you will be excused. And Ms. Johnson, once probation meets you in the breakout room and goes over your conditions with you, you are excused. If you have any questions, that would be the time to ask them, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Courtroom, if you could go to breakout room number 2, please.
Yes, Judge.
Judge, I'm going to join my.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna join my client, Your Honor, as well, briefly.
All right, if you could go to breakout room number 2, and probation will be there shortly.
Judge, can I get the cause number? I don't think I heard it.
The cause number is 2020 CR 11653.
Thank you.
All right, who are the parties on Arlie Panafala?
I am, and Marcus Sanders is as well.
And there's a correction to the paperwork. You guys.
All right. All right, before we go on the record, what's the correction to the paperwork?
I forgot to check the deadly weapon finding box on the plea bargain.
All right. Mr. Pampala, are you able to mute and unmute on your own?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if it turns to be noisy in your background, I'm gonna have to have you mute and unmute for me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Benavides, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Court is calling 2020 CR 1218, State of Texas versus R. Lee Frederick Panafala. If I could have parties announced for the record, please, for the state.
Marcus Sanders.
For the
Dan
defense.
Rodriguez. Dan Rodriguez.
And are you Mr. Panafala?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Panafala, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you a document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You literally just came back.
Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Acknowledgement of Discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Pandafala, I'm showing you a document entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment? Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, we are.
Mr. Pandafala, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Everyone, just one moment. Off the record for a moment. Mr. Guyana, If you'll go back to breakout room number 10, please. And Mr. Serta, if you'll go to breakout room number 10, please. We're back on the record. What you're charged with in the indictment is aggravated robbery. That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pandafala, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial.
Yeah. I'm just reading it off.
Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication, and the state will take in consideration cause number 2020 CR 12179. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the
Yes,
paragraph
yes.
entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph
So
with
I'm
your
guessing the other
attorney?
guys are all with
Did you
items?
understand it and did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only
Yes.
items that can be appealed are written pretrial
yeah.
motions that have been
But-
filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, Mr. Pandafala, how do you plead?
Yeah.
Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea.
Yes, the state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objection.
Mr. Pandafala, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
let me just.
The court will find that the defendant has
I'll run-
knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Mr. Rodriguez, is there going to be a request for a TAP evaluation?
I'm not requesting one. I don't know if Marcus was.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Norma, on Mr.
Okay, so they were-
Pandafala,
it was-
can we have a date to come back for sentencing
They
and
were
he's
just
in
assisting
custody?
Heidelin in their whatever surveillance they had going on.
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. Got you. Okay. I just never heard of them. Yeah. Yeah, that'll never happen again. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Judge, we can come back on May the 11th.
All right, what will happen, Mr. Pandafalala? We will be back on May 11th. At that time, the court will make a decision on your application for deferred adjudication based upon the PSI report and any other evidence that's presented to me. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation will speak to you so they can tell you what information they will be requesting. Mr. Rodriguez, you can go to the breakout room with your client or you can be excused.
I need to report to another court, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
God bless you.
Pandafala,
Yes, ma'am.
if you'll go to breakout room number 2, please.
All right, God bless.
All right, thank you. And we'll close the record. Mr. Pandafala, if you look at the bottom of your screen where it says breakout rooms, if you will click on breakout room, you'll see where you can go to breakout room number 2.
All righty, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And Kevin, I'll send you to breakout room number 2. All right, Cornelius Cox.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, have you had a chance to confer with the state on Jonathan Yotes?
Not with the state, but I conferred with Mr. Yotes, and I'll concur with the state. If somebody wants to talk, I don't know who was handling the case, but
All right, it's Dawn McCraw. So I'm going to send you all to a breakout room together, and when you confer with her, come back and I'll let you know what the new reset date will be.
thank you, Judge.
Sure, I'll send you to breakout room number 6. All right, anyone else back from the breakout rooms?
Your Honor, Martin Guerra, I finished conferring with the prosecution regarding Adrian Arias.
Yes.
Your Honor, we still do not have an agreement.
All right, Adrian Arias, where are you? Could you stop moving around and unmute?
Your Honor, just so you know, he has had some problems with his Bluetooth. In fact, when we conferred in the breakout room, I had to actually just call him up.
Oh, no problem. Mr. Arias, your plea deadline has expired.
Your Honor,
yes.
If I may, I was going to ask you just extend that 1 week. There's just a couple of items I wanted to speak to him about.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Arias, can you recall him for next week, Friday?
The 16th, yes.
All right, we'll recall it for the 16th.
Thank you, Your Honor. Are we excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You're welcome. Have a good weekend. All right, everyone, just give me a moment. All right, anyone else back from the breakout room? Orlando Castagnon?
Yes, Judge. If I could be put into a breakout room with my client, Mr. Davis.
All right, let me find your breakout room. If you'll go back to breakout room number 7, please. And Mr. Davis, if you'll go to breakout room number 7. Megan Enriquez.
Yes, Judge. Hi, I'm here for John Coons on Trey Duncan. If I can confer with Tom, that'd be great. If he's available.
Yes. All right, I will send you, let me see what's available. I'll send you to breakout room number 1.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, can we do an update on Mr. R.C. Curtis? I know
Yes.
Mr. Harris has somewhere to be in the next few minutes.
Yes, what is the update on Mr. Curtis? And Stephen Spears and Darrell Harris, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, and Charles is here.
All right, what is the update on Mr. Curtis?
Trial.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, give me.
All right, then the plea deadline has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case after today. Does your client want a bench trial or a jury trial? Have you all made a decision on that?
It'll be a jury trial, Judge.
Okay, just one moment. And do you have all the discovery?
We believe we do.
All right, let me see if an acknowledgement of discovery has been filed. All right, acknowledgement of discovery has been filed. Mr. Curtis, could you unmute for me, please?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Curtis, my understanding is that you're requesting a jury trial.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
will put you up first thing when jury trials begin. My understanding that should be in June.
Okay.
All right, we will see you then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Curtis can be excused? He's number 12.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Blanc, if you don't have anyone else with us, you are excused.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Gary Hilliard.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've conferred with the state and we have an offer, which I believe that is a good offer and we want to accept it, Judge. One of the conditions is the mental health court, but I've spoken to the staff and they cannot screen Ms. Stokes until this afternoon. So,
all right, just give me one moment. Mr. Spears, you're excused unless you have someone else with us. And Mr. Harris, you're excused unless you have someone else with us.
Thank
you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. So my understanding is that you all were entering a plea bargain agreement. Are you all trying to do a pre-screening?
Judge, if I can jump in, we did in principle agree to a deal. He was doing some work on the back end. And apparently the preference in the mental health court, County Court 12, is to have them pre-screen and then plea on a misdemeanor. I don't have a problem with that, and they can't pre-screen until 1:30 today. So I would just ask for a 1 to 2 week reset so we can iron out those kinks. At that point in time, either the felony will be dismissed and she won't need to come back, or if we do have issues, she'll plea on the felony at that point to a lesser included.
Are we able to come back next week then?
I think that should be reasonable. I have not had a misdemeanor filed in a long time, but I think Marcus has. So I'm probably just going to steal his knowledge to figure out how to do that. I don't think it'd take more than a couple of days to get that ready. So maybe next Thursday or Friday.
All right, Norma, on Sarah Stokes, can you recall that for maybe Friday of next week?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll come back on April 16th. Mr. Hilliard, if for any reason you have already completed everything in misdemeanor court and the state has dismissed it, of course, you won't have to appear and your client won't have to appear. But other than that, we'll see you on April 16th.
thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, you're both excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Tim Molina.
Yeah, on Jose Garcia, I have him on an MTR. He, I believe, reported to the courtroom today. I haven't gotten verification, but I'm pretty sure he's there. There was
check.
always rumblings of a sealed ag assault, and it's my understanding that it was indicted last week. He doesn't have an attorney on that. The MTR proposed deal incorporates it, but I don't really know anything about it. If he's in the courtroom, I don't know if he's in the box or if he's out, but I would like to.
He's detained in the courtroom.
Okay, is there a way for me to confer with him
Yes.
in the box?
Yes, just give me one moment. Right now, I know in the courtroom, probation is going over plea paperwork. So I'm going to send you to the courtroom. Just let them know that you're there for Mr. Garcia, and if you'll just have some patience.
We're done, Judge.
Oh, you are done?
Yes,
All right.
Judge.
Courtroom, if you could go back to breakout room number 2, please.
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Molina, I'll send you to 2. And everyone, just give me a moment while I sign paperwork, please. All right, Mr. Serta and Mr. Hammond, Robert Gown, have they completed all the paperwork for your client? Has he been sworn in yet or no?
He has not been sworn, Judge. We just completed all the paperwork. So,
all right, I'm going to send you and your client to breakout room number 3. A clerk will be there and they will go over and swear your client in.
thank
So
you.
it's breakout room number 3.
Okay.
And Judge, I think Mr. Richard Langlois needs to go into a breakout room with his client to finish paperwork as well. Here.
All right, just one moment.
Thank you.
Just 1 second. The computer is moving slower than I want it to move. All right, Richard Langlois, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 16. That is where your client is located.
All right.
It should pop up for you. Mr. Serta, I need you to go to breakout room number 3. If you look at the bottom of your box, it will say breakout room. Just click on that. Mr. Hammond, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3 as well. And Carl Alexander, is that your client?
Yes, ma'am. I had technical difficulties. I had to log out of the meeting and come back in. But we've seen paperwork. He just needs to be sworn in.
All right, I'm sending you all to breakout room number 3. Mr. Serta. Norma, I think Mr. Serta is having difficulty going to breakout room number 3. Can you have one of the deputies help him?
Yes, ma'am. What chair is he at, Judge?
Serta is 16E.
Thank you.
All right, and I know that everyone else here is on the Capitol. Just give me a moment, please. All right, for the Capitol case, have you all had a chance to confer?
Yes, Judge Montez, Mr. Ishimoto and I and Mr. Naheda have gone over that.
That's my case.
Okay, just give me one moment.
Judge Cornelius is back and so is Don.
Okay, I'm Mr. Yost. Mr. Cox, I realize this is your first setting. So you have all your clients' contact information?
Yes, ma'am. And we had a good conversation, and I'll be in contact with him and with the prosecution.
All right, Norma, can you give Mr. Yost a 30-day reset, please?
May 13th.
All right, we'll see you and your client back on May 13th.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. You and your client are excused. And Ms. McGraw, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Orlando Castellon, what is happening with your case?
Judge, if I could just briefly speak with Marcus Sanders.
All right, let me see where you are. Mr. Sanders, if you can go to breakout room number 5, and Orlando, if you can go to number 5. Jody Sars.
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize.
What is happening with your case?
Sorry, say that one more time, Your Honor.
What is happening with your case?
I was on the phone with the prosecutor from Family Violence Division just now talking about the case.
All right, you all can continue to confer then.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
Judge Robert Featherston, may I approach?
Oh, no, just give me a second. Who are the attorneys on Andres Martinez?
There's only one defense attorney. He had to, Sharon had to withdraw, so it's myself at this point, but I will be requesting a second chair.
All right, and who is the prosecutor on this case?
Mr. Bunk and Miss McGinnis.
Norma, if you can see if Charles Bunk and Kelly McGinnis can zoom in, please.
Charles was on.
All right, as soon as they come back, we will take that up. Tim Molina, you're back?
Yes, Judge. The
Yes,
Mr. Garcia was taken into custody because of this new indictment.
Yes.
I don't know anything about it. I was going to ask the court if maybe step 1, I could be put on the new case so that I can then become or make myself aware of the discovery. Right now, as MTR only has technical violation, so I don't know what the new indictment does to that. So I think that we just need more time so that I can figure out how to resolve this, because we're dealing with a 3rd-degree drug case, but then this new indictment for ag assault.
All right, Norma, on Jose Luis Garcia, can you recall this for 30 days?
Yes, May 13th.
All right, we'll come back on May 13th. And if you will talk to Ms. Ferguson about the new case.
Okay. May I be excused?
Yes, Deputy Laura, can you make sure that Mr. Jose Garcia knows about his May 13th court date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And to the clerks, if you'll make sure that he receives his reset form. All right, and Mr. Molina, I'm going to send you into, well, if you could chat Norma, she'll give you the information on the new case.
Okay, thank you.
All right, who are the attorneys on Juan Martinez?
Mark McCann, Robert Featherston.
Okay.
Bridget Garza, Pro Tem Prosecutor. Melissa Christian is unavailable this morning, so I'm the only one here, Judge.
So it's Christian. I'm just going to start writing this on the file because all of the names, it's so many. So Garza and Christian and Fergus, Featherston, and McKay.
Yes, Judge.
All right, and Mr. Featherston, you wanted to approach?
Yes, Judge, if you could place me in a breakout room with Mr. McKay and Mr. Martinez. Juan Martinez.
Yes.
Actually, Judge, if I can explain, we got an offer from Melissa Christian last night. I've talked to my client about it, and I think we're very close to work something out. I have to meet with the other prosecutors, the other prosecutor pro tems about this, and I do think it's going to be worked out in a very short time. I think that if you will please consider a 30-day reset, we'll be allowed to debrief and get a bunch of stuff taken care of. I don't think we're going to have any trials, and I don't think that the other co-defendants are going to be taking any pleas today. And the only reason I said 30 days is because approximately 2 weeks out, I'm going to be out of town and unavailable. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time just to sit down with the other prosecutor pro tems and debrief.
Judge, if I may interject, on May 3rd, Judge Ezra over in federal court has asked me to be present for a federal trial on the child pornography case. That'll take about a week and a half.
Judge?
Yes.
So what has transpired since last night is the pro tem prosecutors were certain that the court was going to ask if there was an offer that had been tendered. During this time period, we had not tendered over an offer because we were waiting for a pro offer from the defense, which had not been supplied. Did another option for the offer for amending the pro offer, which was to just speak to the prosecutors. And so Melissa and I discussed it last night that it was best if we just went ahead and provided an offer for the defense so that they could at least have something to discuss with their client. And if Mr. McKay and Mr. Featherston are presenting to the court that his client is actually considering some type of offer, then we are in agreement with that. If the court can give us another reset, because this is the first time that we're actually going to sit down and talk about working it out with numbers, physical numbers.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. Because the defense is telling me that the case is going to work out. So I'll give you your 30-day reset, but after that, I'm not extending any further. And I'm only extending it because you all are telling me that an agreement is imminent. So Norma, yes?
No, Judge, I agree. I believe I think it's an excellent idea.
Okay. All right, Norma. On Juan Martinez, can you recall this in 30 days?
May 14th.
May 14th, Mr. McKay?
I don't have my calendar, but that's acceptable, Judge.
Mr. Featherston?
Judge, I should be done with that federal trial by then, so it's acceptable.
Ms. Garza?
Judge, my calendar is free. Melissa's unavailable this morning at all. I can check with her and I can reach back to Norma, or you just want to set it, and if we have an issue, we'll contact the court.
All right, Norma, what time do you want them here?
We can do at 11 the same, Judge.
All right, then at 11. And if you all do have an agreement, please have paperwork ready.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. McKay, Mr. Featherston, Ms. Garza, you all are excused and Juan Martinez is excused. Mr. Martinez, we'll see you back on May 14th.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.
Thank you, you too.
Robert, I'll call you in just a minute.
All right, who are the attorneys on Richard? Well, let me go back. So on Andres Martinez with Huntsinger,
I'm here, Judge, for that.
Thank you.
I'm here.
Everything that Bridget said so gracefully, I was going to say, but not near as gracefully.
And I would add to that as well, and I could never be as graceful as Mr. McKay. However, I will add that we've been working pretty hard on this. We attempted a debrief. Only one set of prosecutors were available. It's been complicated, obviously, with 3 sets of prosecutors, and one falling may lead to the other falling. And so I guess we could ask for the same date, Charles, to
That's
try and
fine.
get this resolved. We're pretty close as well, Judge.
All right, so you all are saying that we're going to have something that's going to happen on May 14th. And if you all want a jury trial or a bench trial, you need to have discussed it by then when you come back.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so this is the final deadline. There will not be another deadline in this. Hunsinger, if you can remain, we'll make sure you get a second chair.
Well, Your Honor, I don't mind saving the county that money in the event that we get this resolved. I don't need a second to do that. By the time it takes a second to go through 2 terabytes of information, it won't be by May 14th. So let me try and see if I can't get this resolved for those purposes, and I'll let you know. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. So we'll see you all back here on May 14th. Andres Martinez, you are excused, and your attorney is excused, and State, you are excused. So we'll see you back on May 14th.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Mr. Serta, I need you to go to breakout room number 3, please. All right, the next person up is Richard Anthony Montez. Who are the prosecutors on this?
Judge James Ishimoto, I'm here for Miguel Nahara. Apparently he had a scheduled conflict, so I am here for him.
All right, and who are the defense attorneys?
Oscar Cantu and Orlando, Your Honor. Castañon. He's in a breakout room.
All right.
I'm back.
All right, so what is happening here with this case?
We had an initial exchange of offers and they were declined. Mr. Ishimoto has provided us with 2 terabytes of information in addition to what's available online, and we've been going over that. We have a couple of tasks for an investigator to complete, but we're moving it along, Judge, and I don't think you would hate us if we ended up having a trial with this particular company of attorneys and the defendant.
Yeah.
We'll keep the court prompt, diligent, and I know you're going to smile at least once or twice, which is rare.
All right. Mr. Montez, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Montez, I'm recalling, let me see. Norma, can you recall him May 17th?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to recall your case on May 17th. Is that going to be at 11, Norma?
Yes, ma'am. We can make it at 11.
All right, we're going to call it May 17th at 11. There will be no other deadlines or extending or deadlines, Mr. Montez. If you decide you want to accept a plea, that's the last day the court will accept any plea offers. You need to discuss with your attorneys whether or not you want a jury or bench trial. Mr. Cantu, Mr. Castañon, if you want a bench trial, then you have to see if the state will agree to a bench trial.
Yes, ma'am. And we'll video conference with our client promptly.
All right. All right, great. Is there anything else that you all need?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, then you are excused. Mr. Montez, you're going to go back and your defense counsel will speak to you at another time. Norma, can you send 14M back, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Montez, do not leave until I call someone.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
You're welcome. You have a good day too.
Yes, ma'am. Be blessed.
All right. Who are the parties on Hammond?
That's mine, Judge. It's Carlton.
All right. Who is the prosecutor?
It's CTD, Judge. I think Jordan did the paperwork. Tom negotiated.
Who is saying they can do it?
Tom.
All right. All right, Kevin Hernandez, there is no application on this one.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
All right, Ms. Benavides, just let me know when you're ready.
And Judge, could I interject real quick? I've left my client
Yes.
in the breakout room, Roland Davis.
Yes.
And I believe that Marcus and I had discussed that he was going to be asking for a 1-week recall to reach out to his complainant.
Yes,
All right,
Judge. Oh, no.
Just 1 second, I'm sorry. Let me see something. Mr. Aguirre, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. The prosecutor will swear you in and let you know if there is any paperwork missing. Mr. Langlois, go to number 3. Mr. Castillon, who is your client?
Roland Davis.
All right. State.
Yes, Judge. I was just going to say that initially we were nowhere near an agreement, but now it seems like we may be close. I just want to run something by my complainant, or at least make him aware of it before I officially make the offer. I've been told that if what they would accept, and I think that that may work it out.
All right, can we call this back next week?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Normie, can you recall Roland Davis for next week, please?
Yes, ma'am, on that Friday.
All right, so we'll see you back on April 16th at 9 a.m.
Okay, Judge.
All right, if you have nothing else, you and your client are excused.
He's in the breakout room. He needs to be brought back.
All right, if you'll go back to the breakout room, is he in custody?
He is. And
All right,
he's in breakout room 7. I've been reassigned to full 5.
all right, let me send you to 7, and if you'll have him come back to the main room, and Norma will have him excused from the main room.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
Let me see.
And Judge, I'm ready.
All right, thank you. Court is calling 2020 CR 9268, State of Texas versus Jason William Hammond. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Nisbet.
For the defense?
Carl Alexander for Jason Hammond.
And are you Mr. Hammond? Mr. Hammond, if you could unmute for me, please. We're proceeding, thank you. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No, none from the state.
Defense?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
Mr. Hammond, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes,
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hammond, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Sorry, Judge. I'm doing too many things here. Let me remember. No, I believe I am waiving count 1, proceeding on count 2, possession, waiving the deadly weapon allegation, and waiving the enhancement allegations.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Application for weapon.
All right, Mr. Hammond, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes, I did.
understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with in count 2 is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Did you
sir.
understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your
Yes,
attorney
sir.
to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes,
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
I do.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hammond, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Very.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am. Very.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 2. They're requesting that your punishment be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There are no applications. This will run concurrent with 2018 CR 8652 and 2018 CR 8653. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
I do.
Do you understand that the court has no jurisdiction to force the parole board to run these cases concurrently?
I do. What was
And
that?
that you knowing that, do you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only
Yes.
items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Application for what?
Not that I've been hurt, Judge. No, ma'am.
Then, Mr. Hammond, how do you plead to count 1? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
State, any evidence to support the
Did you
plea?
even ask them or try to?
State Office Exhibit 1 and attachments.
I wasn't,
Objections?
that wasn't even brought up. You're just telling me that they're not.
Any objections?
I mean,
No, Your Honor. And just for clarity,
I mean, I could put in application for probation. 'Cause
count 1.
the only reason they won't give it to you.
I'm
All right, just one moment. Stop. Yes.
I couldn't hear what you said, Mr. Alexander. Can you-
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess whoever's next to him is very loud. I said, just for clarity of the record, I believe the court asked about his plea for count 1 and he's pleading no contest to count 2.
No, I believe I said count 2.
Okay, I may have just heard incorrectly because of the.
No problem. Yes. So do you have any objections to states exhibits 1 and attachments?
No, ma'am. I reviewed him with Mr. Hammond and there are no objections.
All right, Mr. Hammond, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty of count 2. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, sir.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we're just ask the court to please follow the plea bargain agreement and give him credit for any time he's already served in the Bexar County Jail.
All right, the court will follow your plea bargain agreement. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with cause numbers 2018 CR 8652, which is a parole case, and cause number 2018 CR 8653, which is a parole case. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your
Not
Honor.
from the state.
Mr. Hammond, I'm going to show you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
I do.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you, Mr. Hammond. Mr. Hammond,
Thank you.
now's the time to start making decisions. Either you're going to end up in prison for the rest of your life or either not. It's completely your choice, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Norma, can you let them know 14F can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
And to the courtroom, you have Jose Garcia. Could he be on the screen, please?
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
All right. Have a good weekend to you too. Mr. Garcia, and this is not on the record. Mr. Garcia, I'm going to go over your magistrate's warnings with you. I don't know any facts of your case. The only thing I am doing right now is telling you what your rights are. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I've been handed a document, and what you're being charged with is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You have a right to remain silent. You don't have to talk to anybody that you don't want to talk to. You have a right to hire an attorney. If you would like an attorney appointed to you, you can request that an attorney be appointed to you, but one will be appointed to you only if it's proven that you are indigent. You will have a reasonable time and opportunity to speak to or consult with an attorney, be that a court-appointed attorney or one that you will have retained. Anytime you have an interview, be it with the state, peace officers, or any representative of the state, you have a right to have your attorney present. If you start an interview with anyone from the state of whomever, you have a right to stop or terminate that interview at any time. Any statements that you make can be used against you in a court of law, and it can be used against you at trial. You have a right, well, this case has already been indicted. If you are a foreign national, you have a right to have access to your consulate. If you wish to have a court-appointed attorney, you must fill out a form. If you are unable to fill out that form or need help completing that form, a clerk will help you complete that form. That form is in the form of an affidavit, and it must be sworn to. Would you like to have a court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
And that a court-appointed attorney will be Tim Molina. He's already the attorney on your other case as well. Mr. Molina, I'll note he's already contacted you today, but when an attorney is appointed to you, they must make contact with you or attempt to make contact with you no later than the next business day. And oops, just one moment. Do you have any questions about anything that I've gone over with you?
No, ma'am.
All right, your bond is set at $75,000. Just give me one moment. All right, thank you, Mr. Garcia. All right, who are the attorneys on Daryl Serta? And are you here and are you ready to proceed?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here, but I'm on another hearing real quick.
All right, that's no
have about
problem.
10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Who's the attorney on David Aguirre?
You scared me.
David Aguirre. All right, is there anyone, who's the prosecutor on this case? All right. Ms. Benavides, are you ready?
Just 1 minute, Judge.
I'm ready, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, thank you. Court is calling 2021 CR 0394, State of Texas versus David Medina Aguirre. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Richard Langlois for Mr. Terrio.
All right, and are you Mr. Aguirre?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
This case got closed.
Mr. Langlois, do you have any objections? Mr. Aguirre, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Langlois, I'm showing you what's entitled Acknowledgement of Discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Aguirre, I'm showing you a document entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're proceeding on count 2, waiving count 1 and enhancement paragraph.
Any objections?
Yep. None, Judge.
Mr. Aguirre, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with in count 2 is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That would be my opinion, and I have no evidence to dispute that.
Mr. Aguirre, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 2 only. Punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. State will take in consideration 2021 CR 0394. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement? Defense, is that the plea bargain
It
agreement?
is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Judge, I think you said 0394. If I put it wrong, it should be, I think that's the case he's pleading on, and 0395 should be TIC.
All right. Any objections to the court changing the plea bargain agreement paperwork to show that the case to be taken in consideration is 2021 CR 0395?
No objection, Your Honor. That's the case we tended to plea on.
All right. Do you have any objections to that, Mr. Aguirre?
No. What? I mean, no, ma'am.
What's okay? Thank you.
It's
Next, I'm showing you.
Judge, it's the count two possession to make sure that's correct.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
All right, State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
Mr. Aguirre, did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor, have there been any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Aguirre, to count two in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
Yes, the state offers State's Exhibit 1 in its attachments.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Aguirre, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing? Defense, are we proceeding with sentencing?
Oh, she's not a normal. I haven't seen her before.
He's frozen.
Yes.
Judge, it's your voice.
Are you proceeding with
clear,
sentencing?
but
Mr. Langlois? Mr. Aguirre, your attorney is zooming back in shortly. He lost connection.
Okay, ma'am.
When I asked
How is
the
it?
for a copy of my
Can I say
discovery,
something?
yeah.
No, wait for your attorney to come back.
Okay, ma'am.
To the clerks in the back, could I have cause number 2020 CR 40988? I just need the B page, please.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Langlois.
Tuesday next week, Friday. if they want to
Where we
continue.
left off, the court asked, are we proceeding with sentencing?
My client is requesting a 30-day reset because he has some matters to resolve with the parole board. He has a hearing coming up, so he'd like to resolve that before he's sentenced.
Okay. Norma, can we give a 30-day reset for Mr. Aguirre?
Judge, I can do May 14th.
All right, Mr. Aguirre, we're going to bring you back on May 14th for sentencing.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Might be excused.
Don't leave. The court coordinator will let
I
them
don't
know
want
that
to-
you're being excused.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Norma, can you let them know that 14G can be removed?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, am I excused?
Yes, and I'm sorry, Norma, what date did you give me?
The 14th of May.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Mr. Langlois, you are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
And Kevin, on Mr. Aguirre, there's no need for a
PSI?
PSI report. Yes.
Okay.
Judge, hi, this is Megan Enriquez. Can I address the court with an update on Trey Duncan?
Yes, just give me one moment, please. All right, yes, the update on Trey Duncan.
Well, really, Judge, the update is that there is no update. We've conferred with Tom and we have not been able to reach an agreement. So we would like to just stay on the trial docket, jury trial docket.
And did we hear his, did he have another violation report? Did we hear that?
There was a second one that was addressed with John, and yes, John, Mr. Kuntz did show up for that, I believe a week or two ago. There's not been a violation report since.
Okay.
Judge, and I thought it was set for a compliance hearing. Did I write that incorrectly?
No, you're right. It's discovery.
Okay.
Are there discovery issues?
No, Judge.
All right, I'm gonna give you a plea deadline date then. Have you received all the discovery?
I believe so.
All right, Norma, can you give them a 30-day reset for a plea deadline date? Is that good for everyone?
Sure.
Sure.
May 13th.
Okay.
All right, and Mr. Trey Duncan, where are you?
Mr. Duncan, can you turn your video on, Trey? He's there, but his video is not on.
All right, so I see him as being there. If he can't get his video or any of that working, he's gonna have to start appearing in court.
Okay, Trey, can you turn your video on?
All right, I'll see you all on May 13th.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Jody Sawyers.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. We do have a status update. We have conferred. I need to have a contested hearing with evidence on the violation report, and I need to have it as soon as possible. I understand that you've remanded one of his cases without bond. I need to address that issue today. He has bonded out on the 2 new allegations that he was just arrested for. I am hopeful that you will recall the remand without bond, allow me to have that hearing so I can address the facts in that case.
I mean, I'm not inclined to recall a remand without bond. Is the remand without bond because he did not appear?
No,
Or is
no,
it
Your
because
Honor.
he allegedly picked up new cases involving continuous violence and violation of protective orders?
Yes, I believe it's for the former. If I'm mistaken, I apologize, but I thought it was because of the new cases.
Yes. So what I have is, thank you. What I have is that the offense date, and I'm not taking any of this to be true. What I have is the offense date for the assault, family, choking, strangulation is January 12th, 2021. And then I have a new offense date of April 4th, 2021 for continuous violence against family. And the other one is violation of bond or protective order. So if you want to file a motion to have the remand without bond recalled, it can be set as the same day as the violation report.
Okay, and how soon can I get that hearing?
All right, State, who is the prosecutor who will be on this?
Joe Ray, Judge.
All right, he's remanded without bond, so why is he on screen? Someone picked Mr. Nicholas Valdez. I'm assuming he's at his house. So everyone knows where Mr. Valdez is. He should be in custody, remanded without bond. Unless remanded without bond now means people are remanded without bond, but it's at their house.
Well, Your Honor, with all due respect, we didn't know he was remanded without bond until we logged on this morning. And we specifically had already contacted the court asking for a hearing on the violation reports. And we were told that we would address that issue today. We didn't know that there was a remand without bond. And furthermore, I would like an opportunity, at least today, to address that remand without bond because he didn't have an opportunity to be heard. And even by the police report itself, the complaining witness came to where his location was. He did not go to her.
Here's the thing, everybody's giving their opinion. If somebody wants to present me with some evidence, you're more than welcome to present me with evidence. You can call whatever witnesses you all want to call. But what I have before me is a person who's on bond for assault, family choking, strangulation, which again, I'm not taking to be true because I don't know the facts of that case. I wasn't there. I have him for that. And then he has allegedly committed 2 new offenses, and they're all family violence related. So if anybody wants to call witnesses, and if you're ready to proceed, we can proceed. If you're not ready to proceed, then it'll be set on another day.
Your Honor,
yes.
I mean, at this point, though, have you had an ability to see the police reports of the alleged?
No.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that would be important because this complaining witness is the one that keeps coming to him and alleging he's cheating and then assaulting him and then claiming that he assaulted her. So, I mean, the remand without bond is harsh because he doesn't have the ability to bond out. He hasn't had an opportunity to present any evidence. We just now got the police reports today, like maybe about 45 minutes ago.
So here's the thing. I understand that people are saying things are harsh, but I want everybody to step back and be objective. And objectively, what I have before me is someone who's on bond for assault, family, choking, strangulation. And that's from January. And then in April, he's alleged to have committed 2 new offenses. And those 2 new offenses are violation of protective order and continuous family violence. If somebody wants to present a witness, you can, but we're taking a break at 12. The court reporter needs a break. Joseph Acevedo, you can go to breakout room number 1 on Joel Hernandez,
Who would
and
that
the
be with,
prosecutor
Your Honor?
will speak with you.
Judge, who's in breakout room number 1?
It will be you.
No, who's in there with me?
Someone from Criminal Trial Division will meet you there.
Oh, Judge, may I go to a breakout room with you for 1 minute?
I'm about to do a plea and then I need to talk with Mr. Bass. Just give me a moment. Marco Bass, who do you have?
Margarita Dominguez, Judge.
And what is,
And real quick on this one, Judge, this one's a restitution hearing. If you recall, the case is over 20 years old. She's been on probation for.
let me ask you this before you do your explanation, because it's almost, well, it is 12. Have you conferred with the state?
I was in the room for the longest time, and then my computer died, Judge. So I wasn't.
All right. Who was the prosecutor you were conferring with?
On this one, it was Jordan last time.
All right. Jordan, could you go to breakout room number 2?
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Serta, we're going to take up your plea. Who's the prosecutor on Daryl Serta?
Alexandra.
Judge, might be excused.
Yes.
On that.
Yes, it's already been signed.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Before you start, was the violation report addressed with Kelly Piddle on his client? On Brianna Mitchell?
Yes.
Yes. Tom, will you put it in the chat box to Norma?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Benavides, this is going to be the last one we have on the record before break. Are you ready? I think she's frozen. No.
Why?
Hey, but everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I know she is.
Hi, thanks. Are you ready to proceed, Ms. Benavides?
I'm ready.
Court is calling 2021 CR 3278W, State of Texas versus Daryl Serta. If I can have parties announced for the record, please, for the state.
Alexandra Williamson.
Defense.
Robert Gaona.
And are you Mr. Serta?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right, Mr. Serta, are you able to mute and unmute yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if it gets too noisy from your end, I'm going to have to ask you to mute yourself and then you can unmute when it's time to answer. It's just that it's difficult for the court reporter to hear and for me to hear.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, Your Honor.
Mr. Serta, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Serta, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you also understand that your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Next, I'm showing you the information. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, we do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Serta, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with is attempted tampering of evidence? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, yes, ma'am, I did.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Serta, has anyone threatened, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this prison?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your punishment be assessed at 30 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 of the Penal Code. There is a $1,500 fine and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then Mr. Serta, to the attempted tampering of evidence, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, do you have any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
Yes, Your Honor. The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
Mr. Serta, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you have a chance to review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Did you understand today that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I only ask that you follow our plea bargain agreement and assess credit for any time he's served.
All right, is it the intent of the parties that this judgment is satisfied?
That's fine with us, Judge.
All right, the court will follow your plea bargain agreement, sentence you to 30 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 of the Penal Code. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. The court will give you credit for any time served. The court will show that the judgment is satisfied. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, Mr. Serta, good luck to you. We'll go off the record. Mr. Serta, you need to make a decision in your life. Either you want to be in and out of prison and make prison your home, or you don't. These are choices you have to make. Good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Norma, if you can tell them to send 16C back. Joseph Acevedo, if you go to breakout room number 1, I'll meet you in breakout room number 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, are we excused? I didn't know.
Just give me one moment. Joseph Acevedo. All right, just one moment, everyone. Norma, on Joel Hernandez, can you give a 30-day reset?
On May 13th, Judge.
All right, and that's going to be the plea deadline date, Norma.
Okay.
And he's in custody.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Jody Sawyers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you all going to call witnesses? Do you have witnesses? Do you have?
I mean, it's the state who has the complaining witness, but I mean, that's who we need, and I don't have her subpoenaed for today. I can.
Mr. Jamel, Mr. Hernandez, Joel Hernandez is good to go.
All right, if you want to come back next week, we can hear it next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm sorry. Are you talking to me, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yes. What date do you have available?
You just we have any date available. We make things happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I apologize. I guess then if that's the week of the 12th, so if I could do the 14th, Wednesday the 14th.
Norma, do we have the 14th in the afternoon or something available for a hearing on Nicholas Valdez?
Give me 1 second, Judge. I need to check the calendar.
All right, thank you.
I have a contested set that day and also another bond reduction, Judge. So it would not be a good day.
All right, we can do it before then. We can do it on the 12th or the 13th.
Let me see.
And state, I'm sorry, when?
I mean, I'm available on the 13th as well. I'm not gonna be able to get a subpoena out to her probably that quickly, but I mean, I can, hopefully the state will work with me to get her here.
Let me just tell you, the state, they're very everybody is objective. State can, Ms. Sawyers is saying that the complainant is the one who comes over to the defendant's house. Can you facilitate their subpoenaing the complainant, or if you all can speak, maybe you all can speak to the complainant.
Yes, Judge. We can try to do everything in our power to try to get her or speak to her. I've already reached out to the advocate to make contact.
All right. And so what we'll do, Ms. Sawyers,
Yes, Your Honor.
we'll come back and the state's going to do their best to have the complainant present. And if the complainant is present and you haven't had a chance to speak with her, of course, you know, whether she wants to speak to you or not is completely up to her. But if you have not spoken to her and she's present and you want a chance to speak to her, if she wants to speak to you, you'll have a chance to speak to her before the hearing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What time would you like us back?
Norma, what are you thinking?
Tuesday, it's gonna have to be in the afternoon, Judge.
Okay.
Tuesday afternoon at about 2 o'clock, because we got docket in the morning. I don't want to do that motion in the morning and take up the whole docket.
Okay. So it'll be April 13th at 2.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. We'll see you then.
Judge,
right, thank you.
the
Yes.
violation report, I send it to you. Are you going to fill that out?
The violation report on Mr. Nicholas Valdez, that's already been done.
It's been done? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And the warrants are still going to stay? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And clarification, Your Honor, if is he to appear in person at your court if he's not in custody already?
Yes.
Okay. So this will be an in-person hearing or just he's in person?
Oh, it'll be Zoom and he's in person.
And can we speak briefly in the breakout room, Judge, about this?
Yes. All right. Ms. Sawyers, if you'll go to breakout room number 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Norma, if you could come to number 2 with us, please. And Marco Bass, we'll be right with you. Yes, Norma. All right. Thank you. Joseph Acevedo. Hi. Your client has been sit back. We're coming back on your case. The plea deadline date is May 13th, and he's aware of that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Benavides?
Yes, ma'am.
There may be one matter left today for you. we can take a break and come back at 1:30. Okay.
That's fine. We can do it. I'll hang on and whenever it's
All right.
ready.
All right, Marco Bass, what's happening with your case?
All right, Judge, on this one, it involves UTESCA, University of Texas Health Science Center here in town. I'm working with one of their attorneys. Pardon me. The case is over 20 years old, so he needed a little bit of time to track it down. But it sounds like we're going to be able to figure something out. I don't think they're going to be opposed to maybe, hopefully early terminating this one. My question to them was that whether or not they were insured, whether they've been made whole with regard to the $200,000.
All right.
So,
But when does, let me see, here's the question.
But she
When
has
does she
until
expire?
June. She expires June 14th, I believe. So we've got a couple months that we can file an MTR if we choose to do so. So I would just ask that the next follow-up date be before that date.
All right, we're going to recall this in 30 days. Norma, can you recall Miss Margarita Dominguez in 30 days, please? Oh, just one moment. She's on the phone, sending someone back. Just give us a second. And that will probably set your day sometime in May, Mr. Bass.
Sure. Sounds good, Judge May.
Sorry, Judge, I was on the phone with Robert Porter. He said he'll be here at 1:30.
Okay, awesome. And Norma, on
Yes, ma'am.
Margarita Dominguez, can we get a 30-day reset? It's an update for this restitution issue.
The 14th?
All right,
The 14th.
May 14th.
We're all set. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Norma.
All right, and if something works out before then, of course, just let us know.
I'll save everybody's time. Yes, Judge. All righty.
All right, thank you. Norma, the only attorney that we missed was Raymond Bell. He didn't show.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a call right now. Are you dealing with other people right now, Judge?
No, and Ms. Dominguez, you're excused.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
Your
for
Honor. Have a
some
good
reason,
afternoon.
thank you, you too.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Norma, for some reason, I have a file on Christine Hernandez.
Christine Hernandez.
I don't know why I have this file. I can give you the cause number.
Yes, ma'am, go right ahead.
It's 2020 CR 9869B.
That file, what's your current?
Hi, this is Norma, the coordinator for the 187th District Court.
Ms. Benavides,
Yes, ma'am.
I believe we are maybe done for today.
Okay.
But just to be certain that we not need the record to be taken, if you could make sure you zoom back in at 1:30.
Okay.
And we may not need a record. It just depends on what happens on Mr. Valdez's case.
Okay. I'll
All
do
right,
that.
but thank you. We're gonna take our recess for today, but it's the same Zoom link.
Okay, I'll check back in at 1:30 then.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, everyone, we're gonna